Rahubat Yasar, welcome to another Paa Taraq reading with the Supreme Grand Council of 24 Elders, Anuki Hotep Amun Eret. Paa Nashad will be read by Rectu Sahotep.
Rahubat Yasar. Anuki Rectu Sahotep. Paa Nashad. Anuki Dakal Pa Ashak Pa Paut. Wu Kalal Ashak Kawun Dakal Ni. Anuki Kasamun Afaf Pa Paut. Wu Pa Paut Kawan Kasamun Afaf Ni. Anuki Wahu Ama Pa Paut. Wu Pa Paut Kawan Wahu Amani. Nuk Kadur Naju Ama Kasamun Pa Paut. Wu Kabub Ama Sakasun. Nuk Kadur Kawan Kalao Pafaf Nuk Ragu Dakal Pa Paut. Talama Ragabni Kawan Bakhe Dakal Pa Paut. Anuki Yabad Bi Nafasni. Pa Paut Kawan Anuki. Pa Paut Kadur Nuk Kadur. Pa Paut Amul Nuk Amul. Tawakum.
Return to your own. 1. Likum. Learn to live for and of and by each other, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 2. Learn to love and care for each other, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 3. Learn to respect and trust each other, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 4. Learn to protect and support each other, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 5. Learn to recognize that each Nuwapu, Nuwapians is you, and you are each other, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 6. Learn that you were once a baby, then a child, then an adult, then an elder. Remember the stages of life you pass through and treat each other the way you wish to be treated, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 7. Learn to accept who and what you are born and your origin on this planet as a being misplaced by other than self and kind. Return to your own, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 8. Learn to respect only those of other races who respect you for who they know you really are. The first race on this planet, the first race created, the children chosen to be born on the best and richest part of this Kawak Taha planet, Africa, Afaf Reye Kau, Africans, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. 9. Learn to be proud and honored for your noble birth. Each one teach one. Reject what is not yours. Return what was forced upon you of foreign religions, beliefs, cultures, languages, and way of living. Live and die only for you, Nuwapu, Nuwapians. Paa Taraq would be read by Hatshaepsutukh Atum.
Anuki Hatshaepsutukh Atum. Tonight's Paa Taraq is Takda Rakamaat, the deception numbers. 1. Likum, my beloved children of 9 mind. 9 ether Nuwapu. These are your own warnings from your own. 2. We will start with the ancient Egyptians for the number 3, which was 3 lines, and the ancient ornithologists joined them as equal lines meeting in the center. 3. This is 2 Nuwapians, ornithologists of time as alchemists, Pa Qamamtet. 4. The digit 3, like all other digits, can represent many things and have many meanings. 5. Remember, Nuwapians, all digits or numbers are letters or names, such as 3 in Thalu, a word, a tone. 6. As well as linked to symbols. 7, which is all related to 9 ether, soul, emotions, 6 ether, spirit, ghost, 5 ether, physical body. 8, and in a religion where the spell of words speaking in tones, you will see the power of their triad or trinity. 9, it all starts with 1 God, the Father, being, 2 God, the Holy Spirit, being, 3 God, the physical Son, being. 10, and that was from 1 Judaism, 1 El, 2 Yahweh, 3 Adonai, 2 Christianity, 1 El Theos, 2 Gabriel, 3 Emmanuel. 3 Judaism, 1 Allah, 2 Rab, 3 Ar-Rahman. 11, each will make the same claims: unseen deity being, 2 the spirit angelic being, 3 the physical human being. 12, from the Mesopotamian religion of the Sumerians, who claim visits from beings called the Anunnakis from Nibiru. 13, the highest of them, the Father, was 1 Anu. 14, the eldest son was 2 Enki, Nud Mud. 15, the next son was 3 Enlil. 16, in the Hebrew Bible, Torah, they became 1 Anu as Elyon, Genesis 14:18 through 20. 2 Enki as Yahweh, Genesis 2:4. 3 Enlil as Baal, Hosea 2:16. 17, and Galzu was Melchizedek, Genesis 14:18. 18, in Wiccanism, which is of the 1 Celtics, 2 Celtics, 3 Celtics. The Kakasu, the Caucasoids, 3 clans in 1 race. So as a Sabak race is concerned, it means 1 Father, 2 Son, 3 Holy Ghost, all of which they call Gad or God, Germanic for good. 19, so in each branch of the Wiccan religion you have 1 Mosesism, 2 Jesusism, 3 Mohammedism. They each take root back to the one man, Ibru'um, Sumerian, 1 Abram, Genesis 11:30, 2 Abraham, John 8:33, 3 Ibrahim, Quran 2:130, 58, 20. So in fact they worship what they know not, or who, because they teach all who trust them use faith, not facts, belief, not confirmations, and this is the deception of the Draconians, Lawi Tananu, Leviathan, the Caucasoids, the gods. 21. So you see, 33 1/3% of the percent number 1,000 as 9 is the highest first digit, and 90 the highest second digit, 900 is the highest third digit. Each short one, 10, 100, or complete as 100% of itself. Also, 999, or 9 to the ninth power of 9, is the highest digits of existence. 22. 33 and a third % of the perfect or complete number 1000. 23. 333. 333% of 1000 is the Caucasoid race's limit of mentality. For their original root race, it is 666, 666. Revelations 13:18. 24. And for you, Negroid, it is 999, 999. 25. And their Anunnaki God had sons and daughters, who also came to planet Earth and bred with men. Genesis chapter 6, bred with them is 20. Genesis chapter 6, 1 through 5, who became wicked, evil people or race. 26. And their tool is religion, which is deception to you Negroids who accept it, on blind faith changing your fate. 27. In this papyrus, Nawapians, we will speak on our scientists or ontologists, numbers, digits, sounds, tone, as it relates to deception and facts. 28. First we will deal with 3 as it pertains to Paa Taraq, the Caucasoid race. 29. Also called ghost people, wrongly called white people. 30. Or the white race. 31. Which should be, according to their own books, Leviticus chapter 13, lepers, Lebanites, Canaanite, Kanu. 32. They would try to use fair old English fager, blonde, clean white, but from Latin, forai, festivals, play fair, honest, choose, a play on the English translation. 33. Because in Genesis 6:2, that the band Elohim, the sons of God, saw that Bat Adamim, the daughters of earthlings, that they were fair. Strong's Hebrews number 2896. Good at what one is doing, all right, well. Tob. As you can see, it had nothing to do with the skin color. It had to do with these Anunnakis watching earthlings have sex and saw that the females were good at it. 34. So they decided to have sex with any of them they chose. 35. And must have had the same DNA genes, chromosomes, if they gave birth to offsprings by earth women. Genesis 6:4. Evil children. So it did not mean the good as in character or personality. It was what they saw them doing and wanted them to do it with them, which violated the laws of Nibiru, rules of mixing seed. So fair is being mistranslated by the Caucasoids, deception. Note which chapter it's in, chapter 6. 36. So they love to be called the white race or white people, but not what they really are, lepers or ghost people. 37. So they will use white as fair skin, even fair hair, when they do not have hair. They have fur, as all other animals. Only Negroids have wabar, hair, not farah, fur. 38. It's all about flacolion, the surface of the sun, which are the hair of the sun, and it looks like spirals or springs. 39. As a strand or grain of the flocculus, nappy, kinky, woolly hair strand. 40. Paa Taraq Sabak, the Negroid race, has kinky hair because we Africans inherited our hair texture. Floculi, from the sun, who grew the multiverses of the omniverses into this one universe. 41. By first growing itself, the suns are self-grown or created by space and time into material. The rules and cycles of nature Natharu with suitable conditions. 42. The original number of Nagaru race is 999. 43. And the soul knoweth, as you see above, in 3 nines united, one atop the other. 44. For the Caucasoid, it is flat fur, thin flank, straight fur, fur as all animals and beasts. 45. As you see, when a new child is born, a babe, that have thin fur, before their genes get heat strong, and their fur curls to become hair, the same happens near death at old age. You would notice the hair will begin to become thin and uncurls. It is because the genes weaken with age. "46. So the nappier the hair, the stronger the genes, the closer to the sun and the original creation. 47. So Nuwapians, as seen on the 999 on top 9, symbolizes 9 in the original space of the omniverse to the multiverse. 48. The center 9 in ancient Egypt writings is and equals U or W, female and male. 49. So the center 9 represents 9 in original materials or matter of the cosmos, and the bottom 9 strand for 9 in original time of the circle of the order in the positive. However, when the 9s are turned upside down or reversed, they become 666. 6 in secondary space. 2, 2, 2 equals 6. 6 is secondary material or matter, physical, and 6 in secondary time is a negative force of 6,000 years. 50. The good is called Wawad, and the evil is called reverse Dawad. 51. So in fact, straight fur is not good hair, but in fact a sign of weak genes or weak G's. 52. So it can be a fair description to call Caucasoids fair, as they are almost non-existent as ghost people with transparent skin. 53. The transparent or ghost white race is prosperity of ghost, specter, spirit without souls, as they are as they see through mist, fog, and dew. 46. So the nappier the hair, the stronger the genes, the closer to the sun and the original creation. 47. So Nuwapians, as seen on the 999, on top 9 symbolizes 9 in original space of the omniverse to the multiverses. 48. The center 9 in ancient Egyptians' writings is and equals U or W, female and male. 49. So the center 9 represents 9 as the original matter of the cosmos and the bottom strand. For 9 in the original time of the circle, in the reverse they became 666, 6 in secondary space, 2 minus 2 minus 2 equals 6. 6 is secondary material or matter, physical, and 6 in secondary time is a negative force of 6,000 years. The good is called Wawad, and the evil is called reverse Dawa. 51. So in fact, straight fur is not good hair, but in fact a sign of weak genes or weak G's. 52. So it can be fair description to call Caucasoids fair, and it is almost non-existent as ghost people with transparent skin. 53. The transparent of ghost white race is prosperity of ghost specter spirits without souls, as they are seen through mist, fog, and dew. Ghost is 3 among the conscious gases, the big G, and gas is from Greek chaos, space. 55. Conscious gas is born with light or chaos because it appears on the circle of time at the position of the digit or number 333. Atum, etheric dandira, atomic zodiac, 1 hydrogen, 2 helium, 3 solar, the birth of light, the sun, before the physical birth. 56. This is the will of time and existence, that is, time and the many changes that time produces in the material matter exist in a circle. 57. How we determine the correct combination of digits, numbers to use on the circle, that is, the digit must be single and consecutive and must add up to 9. 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 72. And 7 plus 2 equals 9. And the digits must divide the circle into 12 equal parts like the dandira and the zodiac, because the digits 1 and 2 are left out in order for the circle to add up to 9. 58. A circle must add up to 9 because a perfect circle is 9 by nature. 59. Evolution starts at 6 on the left side of the circle of time and goes counterclockwise through 5, 4, and end in 3. 60. 6 pushes the circle down to the left side and 9 pulls it up on the right, as you can determine by these. Amun, set, dusk. Atum, rays, dawn. 61. In time, you are now at the end of 3, or the third world on the circle, and Nuwap, forces 9, are beginning to pull yourselves up from the mental death by divine mind and divine time. 62. The bottom half, Amun, Ahnun, Atum, of the circle of time and birth ends with 6, or death. 63. This is why Caucasoids and their religions give more respect to the dead at death and not to the living at birth. Many people show up to a funeral from Latin Fanus, Faanus, Roman deity son of Picus, and Fauna, also called Marika, for Messias, a woodland styre pan-devil, Leviticus 17:7. So they send their dead to the devil, and many show up to the funeral. 65. But how many show up at the hospital for birth? Few. So they have been taught to worship death. 66. The departing spirits for where they do not know. 67. So they put them beneath the ground, 3 feet under. 68. And the top half of the circle, 9, is Atum, Atun, Amun, of time and birth, the living. 69. Birth from old Norwegian. Birth brings forth. 70. My beloved children, Nawab U Yasar, I do hope you overstand Wu Nawab. It's the cure of all done to our race over the past 6,000 years. 71. So we are now headed back counterclockwise towards the root of the living in mind to connect with our Salaf-U ancestors, divine mind, divine 9, and our physical activities will follow. Dusk of old day, dawn of a new day. 72. You see, they will base time on from sunset, dusk, around to sunrise, dawn. That is sunset, west, on around to sunrise, east. 73. Yet they run their clocks backwards, from west upward, around on down to east. 74. The position of the other digits around the circles are determined by 9, because 9 being the highest digit, of course, its positions must be at the top of the time circle cycle. 75. Notice 9 being the highest digit. 76. Notice also in this drawing that the digit 2 and 1 and the cipher successfully reverse the rotations of the circle to clockwise spin, which is the spin of chaos in space. 77. So Nuwapians, in other words, when the time comes that evolution degenerates, matters below the strength of 3, the cycle of the Kakasu, the Sabak, the Caucasoid race, and ghost, this one universe will start breaking up and return to the previous chaos weather. 78. A counterclockwise rotation in space, materials, and time and order. That is a universe, universe. 79. The end of their 6,000 years will be in the year 2000 AD. Satan, Shaitan, Leviathan. Each ends with Strong's Hebrew number 8565. Tan, Dragon, monster, hideous animals. 81. Be they Torah, Gospels, or Quran. Followers, they worship Tanan-U, the wild, devil, evil. Satan, Shaitan. Race of reptilians from Draco, star system, Draconians. Blood-lusting, flesh-eating beast. 82. However, the main purpose for showing the circle of time and existence in this papyrus is to the demons straight the position of 3 and reveal its identity in the world of the dead. 83. The world, religion, persons of all races look to for help and salvation. 84. The world of the dead in space, matter, and time is the bottom half of the circle. 85. Note that 3 is at the very bottom of the circle, thereby making the climax and the end of evolution. 86. 3.
I can't wait to discover a different world with P&O Cruises. Uncover breathtaking destinations, indulge in Michelin quality cuisine, and enjoy glamorous nights. With prices starting from £599 per person for 7 nights full board, I can't wait to book my dream holiday. Call 0843 373 0063 or visit pocruises.co.uk/TV.
Marks the end of the downward trend, then 9 force revolution in space, matter and time, set in and pulls the circle upward. 87. It takes 24,000 years for a complete circle of change, 4 movements of 6,000 years each. 88. To get back to where it started, or back to any given point in time. 24 hours in a day, planet Earth, 24,000 miles circumference. Physical body, 24,000 chromosomes and guimons. 89. So time renews all things by 24, 90, and anything 6 and or below on the circle of space, matter, and time is dead, 91. So this last past 6,000 year ended in the year 2000. After that is only the hereafter. It's dead time, dead zone. 92. Below is their dead coming up out of the ground, the graves. 1 Samuel 28:13. Their Elohim gods from below, or cipher, Lu-Cipher. 93. The animal world cannot rise above 6. 94. The original man can exist from 6 to 6, or from Ahmun to Atum, on to the bottom of Ahnun, part of the circle of time and the moon cycle, man or non-original. The man-made, man's kind, or Caucasoid race can only exist in the powers at 3. 95. The third part of the world, Revelations 9:1-18. A third part of man to verse 21. To Revelations 18:1-24. Note the number system used. 96. The moon cycle, man's kind, the Caucasoid race can only exist in power or rule at the third part of the world's first 6,000 year cycle. 97. There is the moon cycle, and it has a duration of 6,000 years from 4000 BC to 2000 AD. 98. The Caucasoid race, sometimes called the pale man or the white people, is the perfection of evolution and the evolutionary force, as they represent bleached out of color as all other animals. Once they all produce their albinos, that is the end of their evolution. The same for man. Once we produced the albino, that was the end of our evolution. 99. At the end of life cycle or living man is made. The death cycle, the dead man. 100. The living man, black. The dead man, white. 101. At the end of their cycle is ghost. That is the end of the cycle of God. The ghost in person of the white race. 102. Evolution reverse, and the circle goes up. Resurrect the mental dead from their grave of ignorance, the spell of sleep, Nawam. 103. Their star burns out. 104. So in fact, their three or triad of Trinity of deception is Torah, Gospels, and Quran. 1. Mosesism, Hebrewism. 2. Jesusism, Christism. 3. Mohammedism, Islamism. And any and all subsects of any race who accept them. 105. The Trinity referred to by the old ones was triad. 1. Anu, 2. Enki, 3. Enlil. 106. And in mankind's kins, religions, Wiccanisms, you see Father, Son, Holy Spirit, El Jah Moloch. Matthews 24:46, Matthews 1:23, Matthews 1:18, 107. And those who live by blind faith are under a hypnotic spell of amnesia. 108. Once dead in a body, their spirit will be trapped in a cage in this rim or the pit. Revelations 18:2. They will join the ghost race. As it says, it becomes the habitation of devils, and the whole pit of every and all foul spirits, specters, ghouls, and a cage trapped of every all unclean leper, disease, and hateful haters, birds, flying objects, as in Revelations 19:17 through 21. Food for their King of Kings and Lord of Lords. 109. This is the actual facts. No deception, but our race does not know. 110. 6 ether produces ghosts. The last stage of evolution is conscious gases. 111. The basic 3 in Wu Nawap is in our culture as Qamamtet, the Egyptians, is all space, all matter, and all time as omniverse children, not universe children of other Sabaku races. 112. Because these 3 existences comprise, constitute, and generate everything, the all in all. 113. Not ghost is spelt with a big G or capital G, a 6, because it is the perfection of death, because 6 ether is death and ghost is the last stage of it. 114, which means ghost is the apex or the highest point of 6 ether. 115, ghost is conscious death gases. 116, ghost is conscious gases that have no sun. Their star burnt out, their moon crescent change quarters. 117, they have no sun, heat genes left within its formula. Thereby it is without color, transparent like cold ice, the white diamonds from black coal, white light orbs or specters, spirit beings, cold to create frost, colorless of course. White is pale, the last stage of color, albino leprosy. 118. So colorless ghosts and its prosperity, Paa Taraq, the Caucasoid race, are the last stage of evolution. They are ghost people, the dead zombies. 119. Non-ether produces Pa Nagad-u-Sabak, the Negroid race, with Kalor. The nine-ether is the life and growers of this universe, from the multiverses of the omniverse. 120. And thereby is the prime mover and original orders. 121. Pa Nagad-u-Sabak. The Africans are the personifications of the original creator. Atum Ta. 122. Six ether produces the Phoenicians, Indians, and the Mongolians. The races and these races are the original colored people or Asiatic black man. 123. The personification of the secondary creators called Strong's Hebrew number 7700, Shad, Deuteronomy 32:17, by offering themselves to the Caucasoid race of the wild, evil. 124. Six ether is death and the secondary creators, whose creation is the change in the original creations called evolution. 125. Ghosts produce the bleach race, the Kokasu, and ghost is Tatari creators called gods. In the Bible, Gad, Baal, Joshua 11:17, Joshua 12:7, Baal Gad, whose prosperity is the Caucasians race and whose creation is the change in nature which the Caucasoid race produces. 126. Ghost is the Caucasoid race, 3 in the sense that they exist on the circle of the number 3, and in the Caucasoid race, degree of intelligence is limited by his animal nature. 333 of the perfect number 1000. 127. The Caucasoid race is the moon cycle, man who was extracted, ghost eyes from Javad-u Phoenicians or East Indians. 128. As a result of disobedience to the laws and commandments of the sun deity. 129. There is no difference between what the Caucasoid Bible and the Quran calls the Holy Ghost and any other ghost. 130. Ghost is the same composition no matter where it is. 131. Ghost is from the cave, the grave. 1 Samuel 28:13, the dead. 132. Be they family spirits or familiar spirits, as they record them in their Bible. Leviticus 26. They were extracted in Lebanon, in Baalbek. 133. The African race is non-ether in flesh and blood, and therefore is 9. 134. The European race is 6 ether in flesh and blood, and therefore is 6 zombies, and is linked to the underworld of their dead. 3. And Bess Wilder of the Trident, Latin tri equals 3, and dent equals tooth, the devil's pitchfork. 135. The underworld. 1 Samuel 28:13 is the bottom of the gateway to the underworld. At 3 o'clock a.m., as the gate opens to receive the dead spirits each night, and many demons enter this world at 3 a.m. each night, some trapped here. 136. The witch's hour, they call it, when the gates open to receive those who died that day. 137. Well, the Caucasoid race is a feminine race by nature, while most Greeks and Romans were homosexuals, as most Euro-Americans today are. 138. It means the females of their race rule them and can transform higher and away from their men because she holds the mitochondrial DNA, the goddess gene. If she takes a Negroid mate, 139. But this is why, or one reason why their race is able to attract the other races to want to be with them or like them. It's their nature, a female's race. 140. So the pale man uses his pale women to attract men for themselves. They use them as sex symbols all over the media as beauty, which is Latin belus, for pretty, which is Old English printing, for grafty, which is the Middle English grafty, for sly, which is Old Norwegian, sloger, slut, for filth, dirty and tricky. This is his This is his use of his own women. 141. In fact, white men hate white women and seek out each other in private. 142. Their God had to warn them to stop, or there would not be any offspring. Leviticus 20:13, 18:22, Deuteronomy 23:17, Judges 19:22, 143. They warned them with death. 144. But the pale man advertises his own women to all others. So this is the reason other men of other races are so attracted to white women. 145. But it's a trap to get in the seed of others as a bloodsucker vampire. 146. The basic reason is necromancy, the power of the dead. They knew to have oral sex with a black man, stronger genes would give them life and strength. Then the pale man would have oral sex with his woman to drain the sperm from her womb. 147. These are their sexual rituals, even to have oral sex with a black woman or while she's on her menstruation was one of their rituals in their religions and culture, while the men gathered together in sports to have sex with each other, but tried to get black men to join in so they can drink their life force for strength. 148. Even eating other humans. 149. These are their rituals by their race by nature, and keep others spellbound to come to be around them for use. 150. Other races spellbound and fascinated by them because of the false images they portray on seminars worldwide. 151. The dogma of the Caucasoids, power of the dead, is his and her various religions, including clubs, teams, lodges, armed forces, bands, all to draw you to be around them so they can get to your body fluids. Life force of non-ether. 152. The doctrine of the dead and the practice of vampirism. He or she looks normal, then gets close and bites a person while making love. 153. Witches and warlocks are Wiccanisms, now shielded by new religious names. 154. They use Negro preachers of all religions, give them fame, wealth, and they draw in many unknowing souls by blind faith. 155. To offer to their unseen gods. 156. Who is a monster called the beast in his own spiritual books. Leviticus 17:7, Deuteronomy 32:17, and this means that race has the nature of the beast, being they mix with them. Genesis 6, 157, and it is empowered by the spirit forces called Dragon. Isaiah 27:1, Strong's Hebrew 85:77, Revelations 12:9, the deceiver, the deception, all called serpent, Strong's number 5175, who is also called Leviathan. Strong's Hebrew number 3882, Psalms 104:26, Job 41:1, Isaiah 27:1, Lawi Thananu, Leviathan, from Strong's Hebrew numbers 8565, Strong's Hebrew 8565 through 8577, 158. Most have no idea of this. They are deaf, dumb, and blind to what is really going on around them in their religions of others, never their own race. 159. Everything you see around you is sex, based on all cinemas, music, advertisements. It's always with a kiss, a hug, or sex, lust, sex trillion tons of earth. 160. The Caucasoid race is a monster. Moon star child. Moon struck. Called beast as in Beauty and the Beast. 161. Most woolly-haired people are under the impression that a monster must be hideous, of huge individual stature. 162. In many cases, Pa Kakasu defiles this description and thereby deceives the African Negroid into thinking that the European Caucasoid is not a monster from the cemetery. Now is the dawn of the dead. 163. A good-looking monster can easily deceive most people like Dracula does. 164. Most people whom he or she has taught that a monster must be ugly or unattractive, Dracula never is until he transforms. 165. The root of the word Caucasian is the word Carcass, an Asian. 166. Carcass is a corpse or a dead body. 167. An Asian is an Asiatic, as in Indian, Chinese, but in this case, it's a Dravidian. Of India, the original Asiatic black man, with fur, not woolly hair, in whose image the Caucasoids are made. 168. Therefore, the name Caucasian tells you that the Kakasu race originated from the dead and spirits of the dead called ghost. 169. And ghost is God, spelled with the big G. Of course, the Caucasian race is pale or white people because ghost is white. 170. So I reiterate, white people are ghost people because their spiritual origin is ghost. 171. However, their physical origin is Dravidian. 172. I again repeat, for further information on this subject, see all other scrolls on Wu Nawab. 173. The Caucasian race is sometimes called the Aryan race, and the real Aryans were Dravidians, or Southeast Indians tribes, the nobles race of the Indians. In its Sanskrit language, Asya, noble. 174. One from which the Caucasian race was derived, and the Dravidians are from the Negroid Africans. 175. And this is why the original language of the Caucasian race first taught to them only 6,000 years ago, and the African taught the Dravidians to speak 24,000 years ago, and the Mongoloids was taught to speak 20,000 years ago, while the African Negroids was made to grow a voice box 54,000 years. Before then, none of them could speak. 176. So you see, the Caucasian race will say, we speak Indo-European tongue, meaning they learned to speak from Indians, which became varied by the Hebrew, the Arabs, and the Europeans. Tawakum Yasar.
I am who I am will be read by Sabaktat Nifur Ankh.